Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be my eyeshadow palette collection and small declutter. I'm only going to get rid of a few things, but there are some palettes that I'm just not using. I will give them to friends and family. I love eyeshadow. It's my favorite type of makeup and it's just a whole lot of fun. Out of the palettes I have, I would say about 20% I did get in PR and 80% I did by myself. And if you want to see other eyeshadow related videos, check out my eyeshadow palette playlist. There is a lot there. If you're interested in the makeup I'm wearing, I will list it in the description box, but I did film this look. It was a member exclusive tutorial, red and green Pat McGrath holiday look. So yes, I do have a channel membership option now, and there are 2 tiers, which is the second video for the extra chic and geeky tier. So yeah, if you're interested, you can click the join button to learn more about that. There's gonna be a lot in this video, so let's get started. Okay, this is gonna be a lot. It's 122 palettes, so I gotta hurry up. Okay, I'm gonna just start with these ColourPop quads here. I did get these in PR, and I actually really like the quality of these. I feel like I don't need to keep all of them though. This one is called Sure Thing, which is probably my favorite, so I want to keep that one. This hot pink one, Strawberry Sweet, it's very pretty, lovely pinks. The packaging is broken, so that's annoying me. Therefore, that one is gonna go. And then I really wish they would just do cardboard packaging for all their palettes, but is what it is. So they also sent me these 3. This one's called The Coast is Clear, and this one is more taupey. I like this one a lot actually, so I do want to keep that one. I feel like I don't need to keep all of these though. This peachy one though, this is actually really pretty. So you've got peaches, some dark browns, some gold. This one's called Clear the Air. Very, very nice. And then this one, I think I don't need to keep this one. This one's called Clearly in Love. And they're all good. I like the quality. This one is got some similarities to that first one, plus like the pink, which I have in a lot of palettes. So this one can go too. A newer ColourPop palette called the Fairy Well palette. This one is so pretty and neutral, leaning more cool toned, which you still don't see a lot of cool tones out there. So I definitely want to keep that one. And then, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to get in some other brands. I'm just gonna kind of keep going here. Pat McGrath Labs. This is the Mini Sublime. These mini palettes were from quite a few years ago, but I still think they're really good. The packaging isn't the best, but the quality of the eyeshadows is amazing. Let me just quick mention this because this is my newest palette from Rare Beauty. It's the True to Myself eyeshadow palette, and actually, this was an early Christmas gift from my sister, which is very exciting. I haven't even had a chance to use it yet, but obviously I'm gonna keep it, and I'm really excited to try more from Rare Beauty. The Tom Ford quad, this is the only one I have. This one is in Nude Dip, and I like it. I personally wouldn't buy more of these. I bought this on major discount. I think the full price is pretty silly, but I like that one. Tarte Toasted, only Tarte palette I have, but you know what? I still enjoy it. I love warm tones, and I think I filmed a look with this palette the last 2 years around the fall time. Definitely one of my favorite fall palettes. Here's a palette that really grew on me, the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes. I didn't really love it when I got it, but then once I started to use it as topper shades, I really fell in love. So that is a good one. Another Pat McGrath, this one, oh, Golden Opulence. This was one of her limited edition palettes that is amazing. Yeah, I love the Pat McGrath formula. And yeah, also this red sparkly packaging. Oh, so pretty. So love it. Let's just finish this basket. There is, yeah, nothing is getting decluttered out of this basket, that's for sure. Sigma palettes, some of my favorite, the warm neutrals, wonderful. Ambiance, also beautiful. Sigma Enchanted. Definitely, this one's more unique to my collection, very ethereal and beautiful. Ooh, this was one that I bought earlier this year, the Nomad. Wow, this one is good. If you like mauve tones, that one's amazing. And then there happened to be 2 Natasha Denona palettes in this basket. Of course, Metropolis. I mean, this is still one of my favorite palettes ever, ever, ever. It's so good. And then the Love palette. I admit I haven't used this palette in quite some time, but I know I enjoy it. So I don't know, I guess I'm just not always in the mood for like pinks and purples, but it's a really good one. Okay, I have 3 larger Charlotte Tilbury palettes. This one is the Pillow Talk palette. I really love that one. Very pretty, like pink neutral tones. And then this one is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. Great. I really like the quality of these larger Charlotte Tilbury palettes. And then I have another one that it's in here somewhere, so we'll get to it eventually. Let's just start with this pile, Odin's Eye Red Dragon palette. Oh my, I love this one so much. Beautiful. I really like the Odin's Eye formula. It's very high pigment and their sparkly shades are like extra sparkly. The Huda Beauty Empowered palette. This is my first ever larger Huda Beauty palette and I've been very impressed. I have to say, I'm really happy I bought that. The Natasha Denona Biba. Yes, I love this one. I just did members exclusive Get Ready With Me using this palette and yep, it's fantastic. Oh, here's a newer one from ColourPop. This is the Vibe Check. This one they sent to me in PR. It's part of their line for Target. And I've used it a couple of times. And I actually want to film a look with this palette and the other ColourPop and Target items that I got. I really like this palette. Very, very nice. And the Venice Fling, Bailey Sarian and Estate Cosmetics. It's been some time since I've used it, but I enjoy this one. I think the formula is very smooth. And then, oh, this is a palette that I bought a couple months ago. It's the Hocus Pocus All Hallows Eve palette, and I really like it. I did film a look with that one. BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast. That's a good one. Green tones, absolutely stunning. Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. Very high pigment and smooth neutral palette. Definitely enjoy that one. Let's bring over this little basket here. And so here I have my Natasha Denona mini palettes. So I have Mini Glam, love it. Mini Lila, you know what? I've decided I'm gonna part with this. I can give it to someone else. I just don't reach for it a lot. Not that the quality is bad, actually. I just find myself confused that there's like purples and blues and then 2 very neutral shades. I think it's time I let that one go, honestly. Mini Biba. Yep, good one. Mini Love, also a stunner. And Mini Zendo, another one of my personal favorites. This one is very, very nice. And then a palette that I got not that long ago, a couple months ago. If I can open it, this is the Urban Decay Mini Naked Sin palette. And you know what? It looks incredibly boring, but actually the quality is really nice. So I have enjoyed it. And then, okay, more ColourPop palettes. All Amethyst palette. They did send this to me in PR earlier this year and I've really enjoyed this one. Very beautiful, like periwinkle shades. And then one of my favorites also from them is the By the Rose palette. So pretty. If you like pink tones, that one's amazing. And then these 3, you know, I don't use these that often, but when I do, I really like them. They are the Dose of Colors 5-pan palettes. This one is the Baked Browns, just warm browns, but it's good. The Blushing Berries, very nice. Love that one. And then the oldest one is the Marvelous Mauve. So I've had these for a while, but I still really enjoy them. One of my newest palettes from Sydney Grace, I bought this for Black Friday, and it's called Sweet Indulgence. Wow, I love this palette. It's so beautiful. The Sydney Grace formula is very impressive, very beautiful. Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette. Yeah, I love these like rich fall tones. That one's amazing. An older palette I'm still holding on to. I can't let it go. The original Lorac Pro. It's really basic, but I still like it. I think it's good. Natasha Denona Zendo. Beautiful color story. One of my favorites by her. This one is the ColourPop Enchanted. This is one of the most beautiful purple palettes I've ever seen. It's so good. I did film a look with this one for sure. Really enjoy that one. Here's the other mini Pat McGrath palette, the mini Subversive. Yeah, these are more colorful jewel tones. Yep, enjoy that one too. And oh, here's the other larger Charlotte Tilbury palette. This is the Smoky Eyes Are Forever, which I really like this one too. I think it's really, really nice. The Urban Decay Ultraviolet. A lot of people did not enjoy it, but I do enjoy it. It's not super high pigment, but I'm enjoying it for what it is, which is a less pigmented palette that I like to do like colorful looks for daytime. So I like that one. You know what? I think I'm gonna let the Norvina palette go because I haven't used it in so long. I love this color story, but this brand is just not my favorite formula anymore. And I do feel like I have these colors. You can see I've used this one a lot. I've hit pan on several shades. This was once my favorite palette in my collection, but that was like 3 years ago and I just like these other formulas better. So I am gonna actually let that one go. The Morphe Ring the Alarm. Yeah, I actually really do like this. I've mentioned I love warm tones, and this palette is really good. I know there were batch issues. This was so long ago. I haven't bought anything from Morphe in a long time, but I still have this one and I still like it. And then more Pat McGrath. Alrighty, so this is Mothership 2 Sublime. This is my first Pat McGrath palette ever, I think. Gorgeous, amazing, yep. And then another Odin's Eye palette, the Giant Wolves. This one's beautiful. This was the collab with Annette. Wow, this color story, just unreal. It's just unreal. Here's a palette that really impressed me and I want to try more from the brand. That is the Unearthly Cosmetics Poison Apple palette. Really high pigment. I'm really impressed with this formula. I would love to get more of their palettes. Another older Dose of Colors palette, the Friendication palette. I still like it. I do. I definitely want to keep this. It's beautiful. Urban Decay Naked Reloaded. Another Urban Decay palette other people didn't really love, but personally I have enjoyed this very much. It's very neutral. It's easy to use. The formula reminds me of that Naked Mini Sin palette, and it's good for what it is. Here is more ColourPop. This is the On the List palette. I really enjoy this one. They did send this to me in PR earlier this year, and I really like this color story, and the quality is great. It doesn't have pressed glitters. I love that they're doing less pressed glitters. That makes me so happy. And then this is the other Nomad palette that I have. This is the first palette I tried from them. I bought it when it came out. It's the Fête de Provence. And I did do a video on this one too when it came out. I really am impressed with Nomad Cosmetics. So that's a brand I tried for the first time this year. The BH Cosmetics Switzerland palette. This one is so good. I wish this one was still available. I bought this at Marshall's or TJ Maxx for only $7, and it's such a good formula, and I love this color story. It's really nice. And then another one, this one is the Barcelona palette. This one is very lovely. Blue tones, more cool toned, really, really nice. Here's an older palette that honestly, this is still one of my favorites. The ColourPop So Jaded palette. I really like it. I did remove the 2 pressed glitters, but I love the jewel tones and I just think it's really nice color story and it's well done for a larger palette. And then speaking of larger palettes, the Blend Bunny Dollhouse palette. I bought this earlier this year. This is the only thing I've ever tried from the brand and I really like it. So I would totally buy more of their palettes. I'm still kind of thinking about the Primal palette. That one is very good. Okay, let's do, so this stack here is all of my magnetic single shadows and then a couple depotted things. I don't have much left of depotted eyeshadows, but this one, this is like all discontinued Divina and Coastal Scents, but I still like them. I'm definitely not getting rid of any of these. These are my colorful Coastal Scents shadows. These are old, you guys. I've had these as, some of these are as old as 2015, but I like them. I still use them and I don't want to get rid of them. And also Coastal Scents holds like a special place in my heart. This is some indie brands. We've got Terra Moons and Divina and M Cosmetics and I think a couple from ColourPop. Good stuff. I need to use my single shadows more. I have some really nice ones. This one is mostly ColourPop single shadows. This is one of the few depotted palettes I still have around. These are a bunch of older ColourPop palettes that I depotted into here. And you know what? I've actually used this a couple times this year. I'm keeping that. Dream Street is in there and a couple other ones. These are my neutral Coastal Scents. Love them, still use them. I used that palette several times this year actually. This one is mostly Makeup Geek, except this bottom row is the Menagerie Cosmetics Feral palette. I love my Makeup Geek shadows. So sad that Makeup Geek is gone now, but those are good and I am definitely keeping those. Let's see what's in this magnetic palette. Okay, here we have Inglot eyeshadows. These larger ones are JD Glow, and then those 4 are Cleonad multi-chromes. And that shade, ooh, that's Anastasia Pink Champagne. Anyone remember that? I still like it. That is an eyeshadow that was super hyped on YouTube many, many years ago. Okay, this palette, I think I need to let it go just because I don't really ever use it, although I do like it. This is the Ofra Glitch palette. It's all shimmer. It's so reflective. You can't even see it, but you know, I've used it and I like it, but I just don't really reach for it. So we're going to get rid of that one too. Ooh, my Lethal Cosmetics shadows. These are so good. So they did send me one palette in PR that I got to pick out the shadows myself and I loved them so much. I bought another magnetic palette myself. Here's the other one. It's a really, really good formula. Absolutely stunning. And I have some duochromes in here. I've done videos on these, so you can check those out. All right, we're making progress here. Urban Decay Naked Honey, definitely enjoy that one quite a bit. Persona Identity 2 palette, another older one in my collection that I like the formula and the color story. Natasha Denona Retro, definitely one of my favorite palettes. I've hit pan on this one. It is lovely. The Glam palette. I love these mid-size from Natasha Denona. I do think they're my favorite. Beautiful. Another Sigma palette is over here, the Untamed. I think that the Untamed and New Mod are my favorites from Sigma. That one is really nice. And then here are my ridiculously expensive Natasha Denona palettes. Purple and blue. It's beautiful. Not sure it's worth the crazy price tag, but I bought them, so I'm gonna use them. And then this one is the green brown. Beautiful. Yeah, I still have this, the original Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. Like I said, I haven't bought from Morphe in a very long time, but I still like this palette. I do, and I do use it. So I think that one is nice. And then here we have more of the Pat McGrath palettes, Divine Rose 2. Absolutely beautiful. Love it so much. Let's see which one this is here. Okay, yeah, Mothership 5. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love these so much. And since I'm talking about those, let me show you my newest Pat McGrath palette. I've only worn it once so far, Moonlit Seduction. I got this on major sale during her recent holiday sale, and it's gorgeous. Again, only used it once, but I just really enjoyed it. This is my only Patrick Ta palette. It's the Major Dimension Rose 2. If I can open it, very pretty. I did a video on this when it came out earlier this year and definitely enjoy that one. Here's some more Natasha Denona over here. The Bronze palette. Yep, like I said, I like warm tones, so that is a good one. And Sunrise. I think this was my first larger palette from her. And again, I don't think the formula is quite as good on this one, but I do like it and I like the color story. The full-size gold palette. This is one that I didn't love at first, but the more I used it, I really began to enjoy it for what it is, and it's very nice. Another newer one, the Natasha Denona My Dream. Wow, I wasn't sure I was gonna buy this right away when it came out, but let me tell you, I'm glad I did. And I did film a Get Ready With Me for Geekmas with that palette, and it's fantastic. Okay, let's see. This, I still like this, the e.l.f. Retro Paradise. It's a really pretty color story. This isn't the best formula ever, but I do enjoy it. And then here are some more Odin's Eye, the Fancy Face Hummingbird palette. Oh, this one's so good. Such a pretty colorful palette. Then we have the Saga of Freya Chapter 2 Cat with the Golden Carriage. Really nice orange and blues here. This one is a double-sided palette from them, the Saga of Freya palette. So that's this side of the palette and then this side over here. I really like the Odin's Eye palettes. Those are great. I have two from What's Up Beauty, which is also an indie brand, and I really like these. These are very nice. That's the Monsoon palette. And then this is their Geodes palette that came out this year. This color story is beautiful. I really like that one. And I do have videos with both of those palettes. All right, let's get into this basket here. ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. This really had its moment on YouTube when it first came out. And I really like it, but I just don't find myself using it. And I have other palettes with peach tones and corals in them. So I think I'm gonna let this one go actually. And here we have, this is from Wet n Wild, and this is surprisingly good. This one is the Heart and Soul palette. I really enjoy that one. Here's some more from ColourPop. This is the Wine and Only. Wow, if you like burgundy tones, this one is stunning. The Lilac You a Lot. This is an older one, but I really like this one. Very good. And then one of my favorites, the Orchid You Not. Dark, smoky purple tones. Wow, this one is really stunning. Let's see. Oh, this is the MAC Burgundy x9 palette. I've had this for a couple of years, but I still really enjoy it. And it has a lot of their classic shades, and I definitely have some nostalgia for MAC Cosmetics. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bella Sophia quad. I did declutter my other quad from her because it's just not my favorite. I gave it to my mom. My dog is barking. But this one I do like, but I personally wouldn't buy any more of their quads because I think the larger palettes are better quality. And then also over here, this is my Chanel quad. I wouldn't buy more of these. I got this with Ulta points, but I do like it. This is one in, it's called 362. So I like it, but I would not buy more. The Wait and See from ColourPop. Oh my gosh, these blues, these are some of the most gorgeous blue eyeshadows in my collection. I really love this one. They also have an emerald one that I really would love to get. That's been on my wish list for a while. And then, yeah, let's just finish up with these ColourPop quads. This is the orange one. It's on the Mango. I I really like this one. I think it's really nice. I feel like it's looking more yellow on camera, but it's more like orangey coral. And that is a good one. And then what do we have here? Oh, this is another one of my favorites from them. This one is called Shellbound. Very stunning. And then what is the last one over here? Oh, this one is very neutral, beachy keen. This is one I've debated decluttering, but it's actually really pretty. I mean, it's so basic and neutral, but sometimes I just want that. And yeah, again, I really wish they would stop doing this clear packaging because it's just annoying and it also breaks easily, but okay, I have decided to keep that one. Okay, these are the last few stacks here. Viseart Warm Mattes, still a favorite. The first ColourPop Hocus Pocus palette, beautiful, love that one. Sydney Grace, like I said, I love this formula. This is one of the Temptalia palettes, the Radiant Reflection Light, beautiful. This is from Suva Beauty, the Rose palette, or the Rose Period palette. And this one is really nice. I gotta use that one more. Urban Decay Wired palette. Now, a lot of people didn't like this, and I admit it's not the highest quality colorful palette, but I like it. It has some unique colors in here. You know, I enjoy this one. Definitely gonna keep it. Juvia's Place, the Berries. Actually, one of my favorite smaller palettes. This one's really, really pretty. I love like purpley berry tones. This one, oh, sadly, I pretty much never use this. This is from Oma Beauty, and it's a really good quality palette, but this color story, I don't know. I just don't really tend to reach for it. So I think I am going to let that one go. Then we have Juvia's Place, the Saharan. I really like this one quite a bit. Beautiful colors. The Magic Mini, one of my favorite color stories from them. Although I don't love the quality of the mattes in this one, but the shimmers are so beautiful. I really, really enjoy it. Odin's Eye Hella palette. Oh my gosh, this one is amazing. Angie did an amazing job. I love that one. And then Sydney Grace, Be Mine. Like I said, Sydney Grace is one of my favorite formulas, and I want to buy more from the brand. Then we have the Natasha Denona Safari palette. I really enjoy this one. I think that it's really good. It's one where you just can't layer too many shades together. It looks better if I only use like 2 or 3 shadows, but personally, I do enjoy that one. And Urban Decay Born to Run. I still really like this palette, and I do use it regularly. The Viseart All Shimmer palette called the Boheme Dream. Very lovely, definitely one that I enjoy using. Here's an older palette that I am a bit emotionally attached to. It's the Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette. Like I said, I love burgundy tones, purples, and warm tones, so that one's really good. This is my only Melt Cosmetics palette, the Gemini 2, and I was really impressed with this one. I did a video on this when it first came out. And then this is it, the last palette. This is Juvia's Place Nubian 2. And this one's really good. I enjoy this color story quite a bit. So, okay, we made it through. Let me give you the final numbers. Okay, this is the very small declutter pile. I'm only getting rid of 7 palettes, but like I said, this is a small declutter, and I don't like to get rid of things just to get rid of things. So yeah, so that means that 7 are going and 115 are staying. Hopefully my math is correct. And yeah, that's it for this video. Like I said, there's one other palette that I bought this month that is not here yet. But you know what? I love my palettes, and I love having a variety of formulas. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more eyeshadow palette videos, check out the eyeshadow palette playlist. Have a great day.